Hello everyone, my name is Alex Kroll and I am excited to be doing the first Chi Epsilon Pi weather discussion for the 2014-2015 academic school year. We're going to be doing these discussions a little bit differently this year due to the new chapel break rules and timing. We're going to go ahead and put these online, so they won't always be a video, but I decided just to go ahead and do a video for today to go ahead and test this out. And we're always going to be posting these videos on our Facebook page, so be sure to like that. That's the Valparaiso University chapter of Chi Epsilon Pi. So to start off our discussion, we don't have a lot going on in the United States. We've actually had some beautiful weather, especially as we look over to parts of the East Coast, back towards the Midwest, and even the Great Plains. A big high pressure system has slowly been tracking across the area right now, which is the reason why we haven't had much cloud cover. And temperatures have been mainly in the mid 60s, and some areas even seen in the upper 70s and possibly even some 80s further south, especially south of the Interstate 70 corridor. The one thing that we are watching on the surface map is back to our northwest. We are watching this clipper system that is beginning to develop. We can see that a cold front has formed along it. Now, by the time it gets to the Valparaiso area in northwest Indiana, will it be strong enough where it's going to be a weather producer? That could possibly be the case. The models right now between the NAM and the GFS are looking a little bit different for our precipitation chances as the cyclone continues to move across the country. But this is what's going to be our weather producer later as we start early off the next work week. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of our surface temperatures on Twister data. This is the 18Z run of the NAM, and we can see that the high pressure clearly dominating the eastern part of the United States and even the Midwest, back towards even some parts of the Great Plains. We have temperatures mainly right now forecasted to be in the upper 70s to lower 80s, and a little bit cooler as we go to the north as normal for this time in September. As we loop through the NAM, we can see the high pressure will move off, and this clipper system is going to continue to track east. The center of it looks like it will stay north in Canada, at least for right now. Again, the cold front not very well defined, at least as we are now 15 hours out here on the NAM as we continue to move forward. But the cyclone will strengthen a little bit as it continues to move eastward. But again, as for here in Valparaiso, will it be a weather producer for us? We're not exactly sure. So there's a look at the NAM, and I believe on this next one I have 500 millibar winds. Yep. So here's a look, major ridging. Once again, the reason why we're having the beautiful conditions here in Valparaiso and most of the Great Plains Midwest. But back towards the west, though, we actually do have a pretty big trough, and this is the reason why we're actually seeing some thunderstorms down near Arizona. And I know earlier this week, Tucson was also, and even the Phoenix area, having some issues with flooding. They are getting a lot of rising motion on the east side of the trough here, and we'll look at the Storm Prediction Center in just a minute. I believe there's a slight risk for the area along the California Arizona state line. But as we loop through, we can see that the ridge will continue to move east and that this trough will progress a little bit. And it looks like the NAM may even be suggesting a cutoff low to form as this continues to move eastward. As we can see, moving pretty slowly. This is already now on the 18Z NAM, 84 hours out. So will this be able to produce weather for us? Not exactly sure. And again, we're going to also have to consider into what the cold front that we are looking at on the surface map is going to do for us. So here is a look at water vapor, and we can see we're pretty clear over the Midwest region here in northwest Indiana. We can see that the trough is starting to form on the west coast here, and hopefully this time it'll actually let me loop through for us. Yep, there we go. So we can see a little bit of circulation here. We're getting a small vortice over here in the Midwest, but not really producing any big weather for us. But once again, this is our big weather producer here, at least for the southwest United States. Big trough right here, and we can see some of those thunderstorms even starting to form up here in southern Arizona. And so we'll quickly go ahead and look at visible satellite. We'll loop through the last 12. And we can see some of those thunderstorms forming near Tucson and even a little bit further south in Arizona there, and we'll take a look at radar in just a moment to see what the thunderstorms are, and they actually did look pretty intense on the radar. So here is what the Storm Prediction Center is saying for our convective outlook. This is the day one, so the slight risk right along the border here in Arizona through parts of California, Nevada, and even extreme western parts of Utah. And basically, that what their discussion is highlighting is the fact that they do have the big trough that is creating rising motion there, and there is a decent amount of instability, as we were able to see from satellite. We did see some of those cumulonimbus clouds popping up. However, though, there's not a whole heck of a lot of shear, so they did note that the storms are not going to be greatly organized, especially in the lower levels. So you're not going to get too much rotation, and the rotating updrafts won't be too much. As we can see, they're expecting primarily a wind event with 15% in the same area where they have the slight risk. And then, so we'll go ahead and end. This is what the current radar looks like in southern Arizona. So we can see we have some thunderstorms developing about west of Tucson right now. And these were the thunderstorms that we probably saw earlier on the visible satellite imagery. But this is going to be the active area for the next couple of days in the United States. I believe if we go back to SPC, we can even look at the day two outlook. Yes, the day two outlook extends it a little bit further to the south and east than what currently the day one has. But again, that's as this trough that we've been looking at here on the 500 millibar map, starting right there. This is going to be the main weather producer for the southwest United States. But we are looking for a rather nice weekend here in the Great Plains, the Midwest, and even on the east coast of the United States. So thank you very much for watching. Be sure to like our Facebook page, and we will continue to do more weather discussions, and we plan on doing these weekly throughout the school year.